I've spent a lot of time waiting to feel inspired, waiting for the right idea, waiting for the right moment, waiting until I felt motivated enough to create. And the truth is, sometimes that moment never comes. Over the years, music has always been the place where I've been able to process things I don't always know how to explain. It's where I go when I need to work through emotions, experiences, and thoughts that don't always have words. But recently, I realized something. I've never really stayed in one lane musically. I've always been drawn to different worlds of music, heavy music, emotional music, electronic music, acoustic music, and for a long time I saw that as a problem. Like I needed to choose one sound, one genre, one identity. But maybe that was never the point. So instead of choosing one side of myself, I decided to create something bigger, a single story told through 6 different EPs. 6 different genres, 6 different emotional landscapes, one overarching concept. This project is called What Survives the Silence. The idea behind this project is that each EP represents a different chapter of the same story. Not just different styles of music, but different stages of a journey, different emotions, different versions of yourself. The first chapter is called The Dying Light. This is the collapse, the moment where everything begins to fall apart. It explores anger, self-destruction, resentment, and desperation. Themes of betrayal, rage, fear, survival. It's about watching everything burn and trying to understand what remains when the light starts to go out. Musically, this chapter takes the form of deathcore and metalcore. After the collapse comes reflection. The Things We Never Said EP is about what happens when the noise fades and you're left alone with your memories. The explosions are over, now you're looking back. This chapter explores regret, nostalgia, missed opportunities, and the things we never had the courage to say. It's about looking through old photographs and remembering a version of yourself that no longer exists. Musically, this chapter takes the form of Midwest emo. The third chapter is The Silence Before You. This is the aftermath of a relationship. Not necessarily about missing someone else, but about missing who you were before everything changed. It explores heartbreak, growing up, anxiety, self-worth, and learning how to move forward. The moment where you realize you have to rebuild yourself. Musically, this chapter takes on the form of pop punk. The fourth chapter is called Abandon the Dawn. This is the acceptance of darkness, not fighting what's happening anymore, embracing it. This chapter explores transformation, identity loss, rebirth, and existential questions. It's about becoming something new, even if that means leaving behind who you used to be. Musically, this chapter takes the form of modern metalcore. The fifth chapter is The Distance Between Frequencies. This is the point where the human connection starts to fracture. Everything becomes distant, fragmented, almost digital. This chapter explores isolation, technology, memory, degradation, static, and the idea of ghosts existing inside machines. Musically, this chapter takes the form of electronic rock and experimental music. And finally, the last chapter, The Person I Left Behind. This is the resolution. Looking back years later and realizing you are no longer the same person who started this journey. Not because everything was fixed, but because you changed. This chapter explores healing, growth, distance, acceptance, and memory. It's the ending credits to the entire story. The moment where you look back and ask, after everything I lost, what was left? And maybe the answer is, the person I became. Musically, you're ending with acoustic indie. This project is about more than making music. It's about proving to myself that I can finish something. It's about showing up on days when creating feels impossible, because sometimes the hardest part isn't having ideas. It's believing those ideas are worth bringing into the world. Over the course of this journey, I'll be documenting everything. The writing, the recording, the production, the mistakes, the breakthroughs, and eventually, the finished music. 6 chapters, 6 sounds, 1 story. This is What Survives the Silence.